I know, we should totally use that scene from Jerry Maguire, the one where he's like, show me the money. Wait, what? We can't use that? All right. Show me the money. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly that. How much an average investor and an average real estate agent makes in 2021 and some of the different income opportunities in each field. So let's go. Welcome to Agent versus Investor Cage Match with me, Anson Young. I am both a real estate agent and an investor and have been for about 15 years now. And I have hundreds of transactions under my belt in both arenas. I also have a unique perspective, playing both sides, talking to agents as an agent, talking to investors as an agent, as an investor, and discovering some fun insights along the way. You're watching this video right now on BiggerPockets, so please do this thing and subscribe. That way you can watch this content and contents from the other amazing creators right here on BiggerPockets YouTube. BiggerPockets has always been good to us, so the least you can do is subscribe and hang out, sit around, stay a while. So before we get started, I have to talk about how agents and investors really get paid. And that is through a salary. We get annual raises. We have a 401k program, a pension program, company offered education. Never mind. We don't have any of that stuff. We are all paid on commission, which means you go out and you do something and you earn a commission based on that. What was that other 80s reference? It was you eat what you kill. It's kind of like being a hunter. You don't eat unless you go out and do the work, get an animal or forage for berries or whatever it is to get your food. So unless in very specific scenarios where you might get hired by a team or you might join a company as an employee, you are on 100% commission. Everything that you get paid is directly from your actions. So as an agent, get a client, you go show houses, you get them under contract, you get them through that entire process, and at the closing table, that's when you get paid your commission. And as an investor, you find a house, you buy it, you flip it, you sell it, and that's when you get paid at the closing table. Not really a commission. You still had to go through all those other steps and you get paid at the end. As a landlord, you go and you find, a fourplex, you buy it, you rent it out, and you collect the rent every month, and whatever's left over after expenses, that's how you get paid. But nobody's paying you from day one to go, find houses. You have to go find that house and then close it in order to get paid in both scenarios. So there's no burning out the time clock, no paid vacation, no paid lunch hour, none of that stuff. You get the idea. So let's start off by talking about agents. Now, there are two ways to agent, and the first one is to go out on your own. Get paid on everything that you personally bring in the door. And the second way is if you join a team, and then that way they're providing you leads, but then you're also paying out 50% or more back to the team for the privilege of getting those leads. So I'm mainly going to talk about the first one. How much do real estate agents make? And I'm going to say this a lot, but it really does depend. It depends on a lot of things. How many houses are you closing? What are the prices of those properties? I could sell one house in the Hamptons or Beverly Hills, or I could sell 100 houses in insert small town here and likely get paid roughly the same amount with totally different amounts of effort, totally different price points, and totally different commission structures. And there's a lot of other factors too. So in an 80-20 principle where 20% of the agents are making roughly 80% of the income, there are agents out there who are making $10 million a year on commission. And then there's agents out there making $0. And so it's hard to take an average out of those two, but we're gonna do our best. So I looked all over the place for updated information, and my information today is going to come from the National Association of Realtors, from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, and of all places, ZipRecruiter, which actually breaks down commission by state. And it's kind of a mess because each one of them has a different amount that your average real estate agent makes. And so we're just going to have to, well, throw it all up here on the screen and you can figure it out. So with the average pay by state, this is saying that the average agent in North Carolina makes $60,057. In your top, you have Washington State, which the agents are making $92,287. National Association of Realtors has the median income for agents, for realtors in their, realtor pool at $43,330. Now, why is there such a big difference? They could be using median instead of average or mean, but hey, this isn't high school statistics, so we'll try and keep it as simple as possible. And this is saying that they're also doing 10 deals per year, which actually gets us a little bit closer to what we want. And Bureau of Labor and Statistics says that the average agent makes $51,000. So somewhere in that range between $43,000 and $60,000 is what your average agent makes. So do you want to figure out how much money you could make as an agent in your area? Well, that's pretty easy. So take your city and look up the average home price in that city. Now multiply by the average commission, which let's just say it's 3%. And then we'll multiply that by the NAR statistic that the average agent is doing 10 deals per year. So with that, you can see you take your average home price by the average amount of deals closed, and you're gonna get this number. And if this number looks good to you, go do real estate school and go do that thing. It's not too hard to become an above average agent and close more than 10 deals a year. I'm gonna tell you that right away. Now, the National Association of Realtors also says that your typical realtor is a 54-year-old white female who is college educated. Well, I'm outside the demographic on 3 of those statistics. So, buck the trend. You don't have to be your average agent. Other ways that agents can make money inside of their brokerage, they might have a profit share or a revenue sharing model based on a bunch of different factors. A lot of brokerages now have stock, and so you can buy into their stock program, things like that. So how much do real estate investors make? And oh man, I knew that there was some data. There's a little bit of data and it wasn't that great. It's kind of all over the place for real estate agents, but there's actually even less data for real estate investors. But I'm gonna do my best. Part of the problem is that there's 100 different ways to make money as a real estate investor. You might be a landlord, or you might be a fix and flipper, a wholesaler, wholetail. You might syndicate large apartment buildings, might own strip malls or shopping malls, or there's just 100 different ways to do this business. So it's really hard to nail down what average investor makes across the board. And some fix and flippers make $10,000 on their flip, and other fix and flippers might make $1 million on their flip. Just depends on all kinds of different factors. So we're gonna go with some averages based on my experience, and I did interview and poll some of my friends who are also real estate investors and try to get some decent numbers for you so that you can kind of figure out how much an investor makes. Let's start with wholesaling. There's no real averages because, again, you could wholesale a piece of land for $1 million, or you can wholesale, a small tiny house and make $500. I would say it's pretty common to make between $5,000 and $15,000 as a wholesale fee, somewhere around there. Now, a decent wholesaler should be able to find 6 to 12 houses a year. And a really good wholesaler should be able to find 4 or 5 deals a month. If you're in New York City, you're probably not finding 4 or 5 deals a month. And as you can see, that's some pretty decent money. How about on the fix and flip side? So the average fix and flip profit is roughly $40,000. $37,000 is really what I came up with. That's kind of my KPI on some of the properties in that price range. And an average, pretty decent flipper should be able to do between 4 and 8 of these a year, depending on if they're full-time, it depends on a lot of different things. Even tougher is the landlord. So in an average landlord, they're looking for $150 to $250 of profit per door per month. So if somebody tells you that they have 10 rentals or they have a 10-unit building, that's roughly the average of what they're making per door. So you can kind of reverse engineer what they're making based on how many units they have. And of course, none of this takes into account the appreciation of the property or the tax benefits. So this is just talking strictly kind of what the money you're bringing in on a yearly basis. How about short-term rentals? Typically, these are making more cash flow per month than the long-term landlords. From a quick poll on 5 investors that I talked to who have short-term rentals, they were making anywhere between $2,700 a month and $15,000 a month of profit. And so as you can see, it kind of varies widely. If you have, let's just say, 3 of these short-term rentals, this is kind of an idea of the amount of money that you'd be making based on those numbers. So other income opportunities as an investor, you can definitely stack a lot of these different methods. You can take your flip profits and you can dump them into short-term rentals, or you can take your wholesale profits and go buy a strip mall. There's all different kinds of things that you can stack on and stack up and use tax benefits and other benefits that are tax deferred, tax free, refinance. There's all kinds of different ways that you can make even more money as an investor than, a typical real estate agent. So it comes down to the end here. Which one is better? I'm going to side with the investor on this one. I think that the investment side has a lot more opportunities, a lot more diversification of how you can go out there and make money, plus all of the other intangible benefits. I guess they're really tangible because you can actually touch them. There's definitely a lot more ways to make passive income as an investor than you can as an agent. So thanks for joining me at this quick look at agent income versus real estate investor income. And if you have any comments, any questions, anything like that, please leave it right down below. If you want to hear more from me, please connect with me on BiggerPockets, send me a message, or find me on YouTube, find me on Instagram. I'm sure you can find me somewhere. It's not like a bunch of people are named Anson, so you'll find me. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, happy investing, happy agenting, happy agent versus investor cage matching. Until next time.